tell me a little bit about the podcast and, what you guys talk about and how people can find it.
Solid. So the Breakfast At podcast.
The breakfast what?
The Breakfast At. So breakfast with the at symbol right at the back end of it.
Got it.
I tried doing any of the other things. It just didn't work out. And unfortunately, at the symbol isn't something you can use outside of, just typing, weirdly enough. So yeah, Breakfast At just you can find me on YouTube. It was just a effort in creating conversations with people that I had the opportunity of meeting in my day-to-day. I have had the opportunity to meet some amazing people, and a lot of the times, weirdly enough, it's always been in passing. When Brittany was with me at one time, we had stopped over at a gas station, and this really awesome dude and I just stopped and started having a conversation. It was brief as all get out, but it had stuck with me because it was like, man, I wish I had the ability to sit and talk more with this guy. I really wish I would have been able to dive in further.
Yeah.
But that brief moment was awesome. And so that is what kind of stuck with me because that was a perpetuative thing that continued in my life. And so one day I was like, well, how do we do that? Darren and I started doing that and created a framework, so to speak. And I think that was really what was the catalyst where I was like, well, I love breakfast. My grandmother used to make breakfast for me all the time. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. At any point of the day, I will have breakfast.
I just had breakfast for lunch yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, at any point, I'm happy for breakfast. I will eat breakfast.
Yeah.
So, what I came to find was food is an amazing catalyst for people to be vulnerable. Food does it's one of the few things that we are inherently vulnerable while doing is eating. And so I was, well, if that's the case, breakfast is something that I love. I wonder if people would be interested in having breakfast with me and then have a conversation and get to know and learn more about this person.
Yeah.
So let me buy you breakfast at gmail.com is my Gmail account. You can email me there if you're ever interested in having and being a part. I would love to have you on the podcast as well.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube. But the premise pretty much is the people that I engage with, I ask them, hey, let me buy you breakfast.
Okay.
We have that conversation, and then we set up a date. And what I do is I have them give me pretty much a synopsis of their life, who you are, where you've been, what you do, and where you're going.
Okay.
And it varies. Sometimes the paragraphs are long. Yeah. Sometimes it's a page. Sometimes it's 2 pages. But what I do then is I curate questions, about 20 questions. And those are questions that I go through painstaking effort of just trying to formulate and then do it in a way where it's a buildup, Yeah. It's not easy to dive in immediately with hard questions.
Yeah.
You kind of still have to do a buildup for it, get people comfortable. Yeah. But it is a progressive thing that I think I've worked really hard at honing in that regard. And then, we go through 20 questions and we get an opportunity kind of like this just to learn about the person and dive into
fascinating, isn't it?
It is. Oh my God. There are people I have had that I had, Becky Mackins, somebody who I used to work for with Soccer Sprouts. Yeah. I thought I knew who she was. I thought I knew who she actually was. We sat down and I learned so much more about the person just by having questions ready to engage in.
Sure.
And man, if it hasn't been one of the most revealing things that we don't really know the people we think we know
or what they're going through
until we ask the questions. Yeah. And so if nothing else, it was a way for me to get out of the fear of asking questions. Because I used to be, that was, again, a lot of the conflict I felt after Brittany passed. It was why didn't I ask these things? I knew that there were things there, but I never asked these questions, never dove in. So how can I grow from that?
Yeah.
And that was one of them was, let me ask questions. And let me ask these questions of some of the people that I get to meet about their lives, about the things that they've gone through. And, it's never like a gotcha kind of thing. I try my best to stay on with the things that they've provided.
Sure.
And maybe dive in a little bit further to try and, flesh out. Sometimes people have things that they share, but there's more behind it.
Yeah.
And so how can I ask a question that a person is willing to maybe go a little deeper in? How do I, how can I coax them into without feeling like I forced them into it or tricked them into answering?
Well, you just have a very trusting energy, right? I mean, I can see people opening up to you.
I've been,
because you're vulnerable yourself.
and I think that has been a thing. A good portion of my life, people have said I'm very approachable.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've been grateful for, because I think that is a truth is, I had to learn vulnerability at a young age. And I really had to recognize that, being an open book is difficult, but it yields more results in the positive than in the negative. Yes, it is hard because I wear my feelings on my sleeve, but how I respond is on me. So I had to learn how to, control my feelings about things. I had to learn how to hone in and be considerate of my feelings and how I respond to things, and how not to wear other people's emotions on my body as well, because that's hard. Having a conversation about somebody who shares traumatic experiences is like somebody dumping a bulldozer bucket of dirt on you.
Right.
Oh, God, like that's heavy.
Yeah.
How do I take it in, hear them be present, but then also not walk away with that weight, and also maybe help them not walk away with that weight?